Hello, welcome to this session of Talking Tech, Women and Girls in ICT. My name is Rubi Jain and I am a final year engineering undergraduate studying electronics and telecommunications in India. I am excited to be having a discussion with tech and tech careers with Ms. Rochelle Fleming, Chief Operations Officer at Sapien Cyber. Talking Tech is a series celebrating girls and women in tech being recorded around the world between Girls in ICT Day 2020 and Girls in ICT Day 2020. Girls in ICT Day is an international day marked on the fourth Thursday of each April. In 2021, Girls in ICT Day was on 22nd April. The objectives of Girl in ICT Day are to help to create a global environment that empowers and encourages girls and young women to consider studies and careers in the growing field of information and communication technologies. The Talking Tech series is brought to you by the ITU, UNICC, and the Office of the UN Secretary General Envoy on Youth, and is in support of Equals, the global partnership for gender equality in the digital age. The goal of the series are to interest, inspire girls and younger women with information about a range of ICT careers that can be had, bring for a broader audience some of the role model women in tech and share information about their career journeys and work, offer diverse example of how ICT is being used to support achievements of the Sustainable Development Goals and other UN goals, provide girls and young women in tech with leadership opportunity to represent and promote a girl in tech organization with which they are involved and promote it to a broader international audience. To kick this session off, I'm going to introduce you all to Ms. Rochelle Fleming. Rochelle's background stretches across both the academic and government sectors, including the WA Department of the Premier and Cabinet, Office of Science and Research Development roles at both the University of Western Australia and Edith Cowan University. Rochelle possesses a double degree specializing in science and business from Curtin University and a graduate certificate in cybersecurity from Edith Cowan University. She is a leader and an innovator who is continuously working towards the promotion of tech in education, which is something I have a huge interest in. Welcome, Ms. Fleming.
Thank you.
So, my first question to you will be when and how did you get into technology?
I've always worked in the field of science straight out of university, but I started originally in research. When I really touched technology in a role that I had was when I started with the Office of Science for the Department of Premier and Cabinet here in WA. Mm-hmm. And that was working on a really large grant program, bringing multiple universities and industry together on industry-driven research. And so this was state-of-the-art, innovative technology, things that are really at the forefront of new technology across multiple areas. You know, we're talking geothermal research right through to astrophysics and supercomputing. And it was just a fantastic role that really broadened my horizons at just what was happening out there in the world and really fed my interest in wanting to continue to participate in an industry that's really at the lead of innovation.
Wow, so I think I heard astrology and computer science, like some really big words. From what was your path from then to now? Like, what are you doing right now?
It was a windy path with no clear direction. I'll make that clear. I certainly made a lot of contacts in my role at the Department of Premier and Cabinet with many of the universities, particularly across the state of Western Australia. And through those contacts, I was offered a role as a research development advisor with the University of Western Australia. And that was advising research, assisting researchers in obtaining grants, massive sort of collaborative projects across industry and academia and government as well for their largest research faculty. So that was absolutely fantastic. I was working with green chemistry, nanotechnology. We were responsible for the International Radio Astronomy Research Centre bid that was successful at the University of Western Australia. So I was working with just amazing researchers who were just doing the most innovative, wonderful research, and it was just fabulous to work alongside these people. And from there, I was asked to join Edith Cowan University and made the move across. And they were very much starting out in their research journey, particularly from a research development advisory role. And they were starting this new team, and I was one of the first to join. And obviously they were happy to bring my experience from what I learnt at UWA. And it just happened to be that I made a connection with their lead researcher in cybersecurity, and he needed someone to help him coordinate a major grant bid, which was 23 partners spread across the country and internationally, bringing together industry, academia and government again, but on a 5 to 7 year program of industry-driven work. And it took us 3 years to successfully obtain that grant. And it just happened to be the natural conclusion of that I ended up working with the Institute in a business development role and a research advisory role. And from there, the company Sapien Cyber was spun out of a research idea, and I was very fortunate to be there from the very beginning. And I took the opportunity to move into private industry, having worked in government and academia for most of my working life. I really wanted the opportunity to try my hand at private industry and see how it was to be on the other side of the fence, so to speak. And it's just been absolutely fantastic. I've loved every minute of it. And yeah, it's just fantastic to participate in something from the very beginning and watch it grow and know that you're contributing to that growth in some small way.
Wow. I personally think that it's the company's fortune that they have you because
You're very kind.
Because someone with as diverse background as you had, like in nanotechnology and in green science, like wow, this is beyond like I've heard about anyone else. So this is really amazing. Also, we now know that you have a very diverse background and you like to get your hands dirty. You don't like to you don't like to get anything away. So I would like to know that do you have any activities beyond your job that you would like to tell us about?
Yeah, related to my role, we're really focused on promoting cybersecurity as a career pathway, particularly for students, and something that's become quite apparent to us in the industry. And, it's certainly when I was in academia, this was something, STEM subjects, your science, technology, engineering, and mathematics subjects. Not a lot of girls are seeing this as a pathway for them, which is a shame because there are so many different types of careers out there in STEM fields, and not necessarily techie roles that people think of. There are a much broader range of roles. So we contribute wherever we can in talking to students. In fact, we're participating, and I put my hand up to volunteer our time over a 6-week program, a Cyber Saturdays program, where we're working with students ranging from 12 to 18 years of age, and we're introducing them to cybersecurity. And then they're trying their hand at making a video about how they would solve a cybersecurity problem that's out there today. And we're mentoring them through that process. And at that age, I think that's where we really need to start getting students interested well before they're even looking at what they want to do in terms of a university pathway moving forward. And we're really excited to participate. And so any opportunities that we can put our hand up for and speak to students in that age bracket, we're gladly doing it and participating in any way we can. So we're really proud of contributing in whichever way we can. And we certainly talk to university students as well about what we're looking for in a student when they complete their degree. How can they make themselves more employment ready, so to speak, in terms of soft skills that we'd look for as an employer, and also the kinds of experience they can maybe try and gain through either internships or work placements during their degree to put them in a better sort of footing when it comes to being employable outside of their degree later on.
This is something I've gone through myself because I'm just going to complete my degree, and what I've seen till now is that the companies want something really different from us than what we expected that what we will be doing, but it's completely different. We have to learn everything from scratch. So yeah, it would have been awesome if something like this existed in my university. So yeah, that's really nice. So I can see that you like your job a lot, but I'll still ask you, what do you like best about your job or in technology?
I love the team that I work with. We've got an amazing team here, and you cannot underestimate the value of a team when it comes to the success that you can achieve as a company. What I love about my job is it's something new every day. So, the core of my job is managing day-to-day operations of the company. But I'm writing grant applications, I'm writing articles, I am working on tender applications, I'm dealing with contracts and dealing with collaborative opportunities with other partners as well. I just love that every day is different and every day is challenging me as well. And I'm always having to learn something new. And especially in cybersecurity, it's so rapidly evolving that it's just, I think it keeps you young because you're having to keep retraining your brain and keep up to date with the latest information because it's such a rapid evolution in this field and in any technology field, really. That's what I absolutely love. And I like bringing together groups to work towards a common problem. And that's something that's very much a focus of our company as well. And helping others, helping our clients. That's something I very much enjoyed about my time in Department of Premier and Cabinet, where we were helping organisations work through the grant process and assisting them to hopefully have a successful outcome, because we wanted to see them do this amazing research. And I continue to be able to do that in my current role, helping companies, and particularly the fact that I do account management as well with our clients. So ensuring they're having a fantastic experience with our product, with our solution. And we've built a real trust relationship, a partnership with them so that they know that they can come to us as a trusted cybersecurity go-to if they're having any concerns.
My next question was going to be that things that you are proud of, but you give me that sort of vibe that you are proud of everything you do. Like you speak proudly of whatever you do. If you're writing articles or communicating with clients, you're proud of everything.
I think if you enjoy your job, that's half the battle, and you'll always put 150% into anything you do with that job. So if there was a piece of advice I'd give to anyone is, as you go through your career, take note of those bits of your roles you have along the way that really give you joy, that really make you want to get up every morning and come to work. And then if you can get to a stage in your career where you've brought a lot of those elements together in one role, and I feel I've finally hit that in the current job I have, you'll love to come to work every day and you'll love to roll up your sleeves and do whatever needs to be done. And it's really amazing to be part of a company in this growth stage and be able to contribute each and every day. So yeah, I'm proud of what the team's achieved and I'm proud to be a part of the team, definitely.
This is a very interesting advice to find what you like all along and then just find a career that that checks all the boxes. So that's nice.
You'll never get a job that's perfect, but if you can get it close, you're doing okay, I think.
That just brings us to our next question, that have you encountered any challenges along the way? And if so, how did you overcome them?
Yeah, look, I think I highlighted earlier, for example, the cyber CRC bid. You are going to come across, particularly when you're starting a new business or where you're trying to obtain grant funding to continue your research, there will be periods of time where you're just going to be unsuccessful and it's going to be a knockback after a knockback. And you really need to approach everything with a positive can-do attitude. And it's your attitude's going to flip how you respond, how resilient you are to those knockbacks, essentially, in life, because they're always going to come along. They're always going to be challenges like that. And I think it's a lesson to learn that it's funny how success can come out of what was initially a failure. So learning to see what that lesson learned was or where that silver lining is, because there's always something that you can be gained from that, what might be a failure, essentially, that you can then turn into a success. And I think the cybersecurity CRC bid and a lot of what happens in just day-to-day business when you're trying to build a company are classic examples of that you can really turn it around as long as you approach it with the right attitude, definitely.
Yes, that's wonderful. Not only that you were able to overcome your challenges, but you learn something along the way that you put it in the box to be used the next time. Something that I wanted to know personally is that, the things are different for women in a developed country and a developing country. They face a lot more challenges than like someone like you would have faced. What infrastructures do you think that should be made available in developing countries to promote tech careers for women?
I think, like we were talking about earlier, it's important to start at the right time in a child's development, particularly early learning years, to get them interested in technology. My interest in science started when I was in year 5, and I clearly remember my teacher, and I clearly remember the science experiment we did in class, and from then I was hooked. And he was very focused on science and promoting science. And then I was very fortunate enough throughout my high school and primary school years to have teachers who then built upon that interest. And I think if they can have that role model early enough in life to really promote and build that interest in them, that's really setting up the solid foundation on which to build, then focusing on where do I need to go, what do I need to study to look at a career in science, technology, engineering or maths. I really firmly believe for women, we need to focus on programs. For example, we have a program here called, I think it's OK Ready. And this is where they focus on creating opportunities for women to upskill and enter the cyber workforce. And so there's that real ability and an understanding that skills in science technology don't necessarily have to be technical. We're looking for communicators and marketers, people who've been in industry for a number of years and can bring that wealth of industry knowledge, but now approach through a cybersecurity lens, so to speak, and look back on that industry and give us that advice and be able to bridge the gap between that industry and what we're trying to do from a cybersecurity perspective. So people who want to upskill, who may have been in a career for 5, 10 years and they're looking at moving into another career. I think we need to also focus on company culture. I think there's a bit of an unconscious bias as well against women. I don't think it's there intentionally, but unless we call it out and highlight it, companies may not realise how unintentionally they may be biasing certain roles to certain genders, so to speak. And really, company culture is from the head down. So where you can build fantastic mentorship, leadership programs or training programs that really foster the creation of a female tech talent pool for an organisation or a sector, then you're really developing women in technology and you're really building that culture. And then much like we're having here with us talking today, I think you cannot underestimate the mentorship potential of creating a group of women with a common interest in technology, talking and supporting each other throughout their career journey. I wish I'd had that earlier on in my life. I didn't have that available to me. And now it's a big focus of having multiple mentors throughout your career and mentors outside of your field of expertise as well, to give you that outside of the box perspective on where you're going or what you're wanting to achieve or difficulties you may be coming across. So I think it's a raft of programs and it's understanding at what age we need to get children interested in thinking about this, but then supporting and nurturing that interest through mentorship, training, upskilling programs, and also supporting clear pathways through university into the industry sector as well, definitely.
Right. So like start from the childhood, the parents should support, the teachers should be supporting, and then they should be taught about the different successful women of tech right from the start. What you were saying, that it made me realize that I have done 3 internships till now in technology and all of my mentors were female. So this is very nice. I don't think many women would have the same experience. So yeah, like we should have role models and mentors who are also women to.
Yeah, agreed. But I have to say too, one of the best mentors I ever had was it was a man, and he was just a fantastic sort of sounding board and actually made me think about things very differently. He actually gave me amazing advice, being a woman in an industry that was very male dominated, and was all for supporting me in my career journey. So I think it's definitely women supporting women, but we also need to have support across the board.
Yeah,
for
total
women in
mindset
technology.
change across all genders, because
Definitely.
even women can discriminate sometimes.
Yes, Yeah, it happens, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Since the series is about girls and women in technology, do you have any career or tech advice for girls and younger women in tech?
Yeah, I think career advice would be, like I said earlier,
Mhm.
find what makes you happy, because we work so many hours of our life. You want it to be something you enjoy turning up to each and every day. I think as women, we tend to not have as much faith in ourselves as maybe our male counterparts. We tend to be our own worst critics.
Yeah.
That's where the support and mentorship is absolutely critical as well, I think. I'm looking back on myself 20 years ago, and I just wish I'd been more confident in my own abilities and spoken up a little bit more when I thought something could have perhaps been done differently or better, and just put my voice forward and not been so afraid to early on. I also would like to say that there are so many different roles out there. In cybersecurity, we're unfortunately haunted by a person in a dark room in front of a keyboard wearing a dark hoodie.
Yeah.
Scenario, and people think that's what it's all about. And then you've got someone like me who is working in the cybersecurity industry, but I don't deal with that side of the equation. We have very brilliant people doing that. My job is to get the message out there, to bring the entire team together towards a common goal for our company or series of goals, to bridge that gap between the really technology focused people and those who aren't experts in the field, and make it approachable and relatable to them so they can understand our solution, the problem we're wanting to solve for them, and how we can benefit them and help them. And there are many roles like that out there. So I just would hate anyone to discount a career in technology because they are focused on the stereotypical role that they see, because that would be an absolute shame. And really, in so many fields now, it's so rapidly evolving. The roles today will be so different in 5 years. And right now, you can always make a role where you want to. Do you know what I mean? There's so much scope to sort of design the kind of role you'd like to have in the future. And yeah, just let yourself be interested in it. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be shy of that. Don't think it's not an area for women to be in, because we add a lot of value and we really do think of things differently. And the beauty of bringing different perspectives together, particularly when you're looking at a multidisciplinary response or solution to a problem, just cannot be underestimated.
Right. So don't believe the stereotypes, find your own path. All right. This is something I'll think about too. Ms. Fleming, that was all of my questions. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences and giving us insights and advice. I think this will help a lot of young women upcoming.
Oh, thank you. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Yeah, sure.
So I'd really be interested to know about, when did you get into technology?
So growing up, technology was, rapidly changing all around me. I saw that it made everything easier, faster, and better. And my interest was especially in communications. And I realized that communication technology has the ability to impact millions of people at once. So that's why I chose telecommunications as my major.
Oh, fantastic. So what do you like most about telecommunications, though? What really fostered that interest in the field?
I personally love the global socialization the technology is promoting, enhancing social integration and promoting tolerance of different cultures and beliefs. It's realizing the goal of Vasudev Kutumbakam, which means the world is one family.
Yeah, bringing everyone together. That interconnection across the globe. So where do you see yourself wanting to be in, 5-10 years? What's your career goals moving forward?
Right now, I'm really interested in how technology can help us achieve the sustainable development goals, which we have to achieve by 2030. And my interest especially is in education, where I think artificial intelligence can play a big role. It will help bridge the divide between the poor and the rich. AI is giving us the possibility to pursue educational objectives no matter where you are in the world or what are your conditions or situations. You can just forget about time, space restrictions and learn anytime, anywhere. And this is something I really want to see changing in Indian education. that students can learn whatever be their interest, so they can follow that and they do not have to worry about their family, the financial situations, because sometimes it's hard. You cannot follow a career like in music or in art because it costs a lot, and
Yeah.
your family expects you to choose a career which will bring you prosperity. So I want to see this kind of change. So I will be working towards that in 5 to 10 years. Right now, I'm trying to find such an opportunity for me, or till then, I will work on my own in some project regarding this.
I hope you achieve what you want to achieve, because it sounds absolutely fabulous. So I know you've done a couple of internships. Is there anything that you're really proud of that you achieved during your time in tech so far?
Thank you for that question. Actually, while doing an internship with government, I designed a virtual town hall website where people can post their queries and complaints. The administration can take notes, reply, make announcements, have virtual gatherings and hobby classes like they used to do in old times in the town hall. So I wanted to reimagine that feeling during lockdown, because it helped build again a sense of community, of interdependence, of solidarity in these difficult times, that we are in this together. So I'm really proud of that.
You should be. It sounds fabulous. And I can see at the core of a lot of what you want to do and want to achieve and what you've already done is bringing people together, but using technology to do that, to enable that, which I think is absolutely fabulous.
Thank you.
So do you have any messages for other young women in tech, or maybe even women who aren't so young, so to speak, or companies or academic organisations in terms of, promoting women in tech that you'd like to share?
I'll just go along the lines of what you said, that I think we need to support each other. Just as I said, in some parts of the world, women are still being discouraged from going into a tech career and are facing hundreds of problems like lack of infrastructure and discrimination in the workplace. So we need to help these young women, or even not so young women, if they are facing a discrimination. As you said, you are doing mentoring work. So this is something I will try to do as well, that if I find someone straight out of high school who is not finding the support, I like to support her. And every woman should look around and find someone that they can help. So that's how we are going to raise each other up. Yeah, so
that's right. Raise each other up and hold each other up, definitely. So what are your next steps or plans in tech in the immediate future? Bringing it back closer than 5 to 10 years from now.
So I'm doing an internship at a company and I'm working for AI and education, as I said. Now my immediate step is that I want to see this from a government perspective, because really all the policies are going to be implemented from the government side. And I want to see if technology is being incorporated, like in education, what are their plans to do, and if somehow I can work with the government and learn and know what are the problems that are right now. So that's how I'll be able to build a better platform. First I'll have to know what are the problems. So in the next 2 or 3 years, I will try to work with the Ministry of Education here.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
That sounds fantastic. And again, it sort of harks back to what I was talking about with getting that interest in technology started at an early age. But if you can have your government support and your government acting as a key driver, that's really a critical element to success with a program like that, because it tends to be that everyone else follows suit or falls in around that key driver, that key promoter of that program of work. And I think, like anything, where there's a key driving influence and where that comes from a top-down sort of approach, that's where you're going to gain traction, definitely.
Right.
But you need to guide them on the way.
Right, you need guidance. That's why, as you said, your career has been you have worked in university, in government, and now private. So this is something I've also tried to do. My first internship was in an NGO, the Energy and Research Institute here, TERI, and then in government, and then now I'm working in a think tank. I will try to work in a private enterprise as well, so that I know all the four sides of
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah. And if there's one thing I've learned, when government, academia, and industry come together, that's where you gain maximum impact, because it's just the trifecta in terms of gaining impact and driving a real cultural shift and change when it comes to an approach. And we've been very fortunate here in Australia that that has been that driving influence to get more women into technology from a government, industry and academic perspective, and a real focus and a lot of programs designed and developed around that focus. And where you can bring the three together to that common cause, that's where you really start to see impact achieved, definitely. Yeah.
Right. I hope to see that kind of change happening in India, or rather, I should say that I will be trying to make that change happening here. So, yeah. So, thanks for your insights. And it was such a wonderful time chatting with you. That wraps up our session today for Talking Tech, Women and Girls in ICT. Thank you so much, Ms. Fleming. I really enjoyed our chat today. And thank you so much to our viewers for watching.